Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about how I passed the NCLEX. I do have like my makeup on, I'm dressed up because I'm supposed to be going out to get Mexican with my coworkers, and I am still in the hotel because I'm still in my travel nurse assignment. So if you're new to my channel, click on some other videos I uploaded about travel nursing and where I'm currently at with my contract, and otherwise let's get started.
Hold up.
So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to pass the NCLEX for people who feel dumb. If you feel dumb, but you got through nursing school, you are not dumb. I titled this For Dummies because I used to always call myself dumb in nursing school when, quite frankly, obviously I wasn't dumb because I passed nursing school and I passed my NCLEX on the first try. First and foremost, I definitely use UWorld. I would definitely recommend UWorld 100%. because UWorld has those type of practice questions that's going to get your mind thinking like the NCLEX. I also use Saunders 7th edition book. If you don't have the book, I wouldn't recommend going out to buy it. I would just recommend using like a book that your school provides. Like if you guys use ATI or Kaplan and you have that type of book, then I would just recommend using that. The only reason why that I did say that I use Saunders 7th edition book is because sometimes I would get tired of using UWorld just because it's repetitive if you're always using it on your phone. And I would go in my Saunders book and go to the end of each chapter and I would do the practice questions. If I got the questions wrong, I would read the rationale and I would go back in the chapter and try to read up on that subject. So the most important thing to doing practice questions and preparing for NCLEX is reading the rationale. It does not matter if you got the question right or if you got the question wrong. If you got the question right and you thought like you were guessing, you wasn't 100% sure, the rationale will really explain and help you understand why the answer is right and why other answers is wrong. Because sometimes on the NCLEX and on NCLEX style testing, you'll get answers that like you're in between two. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know which one it is. They both sound right. I remember my teacher mentioned something like that. So make sure that you're reading the rationale for all of your questions, like wrong questions and right questions. Another thing is, I did not finish my whole test bank for UWorld. I believe I bought the 2-month purchase, the 2-month subscription or something like that. But I only studied for NCLEX for about 3 weeks. Last day of school was April 30th. I didn't start studying right away in May. I took like a little break. I probably started studying around like May 15th. And then I took my NCLEX on June the 6th, I believe. It was June the 6th. So I studied for about like a good 3 weeks, but make sure that the time that you plan on studying, make sure that's the only thing you do. Make sure you're eat, dream, sleep, drink, studying. Like when I tell y'all I studied for only 3 weeks, that was intense 3 weeks. Like I wasn't listening to music, I wasn't watching TV, I wasn't going out, like it was all study. I probably was taking like an hour break or something like that, but all my friends knew that I was in grind mode. Like I was just like, no, I had to pass this test on the first chance. Like I had to pass this test. I had a job lined up to start. I didn't end up starting until August, but I still feel like, I have to pass this test for this job. Like, I want to work, I want to make my own money. I want to move into the apartment that I lived in. I had things I wanted to do and I needed the money for it. So I felt like I had to pass this test. And plus I just spent the last 2 years in school. So of course I need to pass this test. Also, some things I did was I also Googled questions and I used YouTube. So if you're like a visual learner like me, I can't just read books all day to learn stuff. Like I had to, I like to use YouTube to watch people. Like I really liked watching Nurse Nclex-Rn. And when I was studying for the NCLEX, I believe his name says Nurse Mike, and he has some NCLEX tips. Y'all, when I'm telling y'all should listen to the tips that he gives, because I swear one of those, he said like, it's like NCLEX tips that pop up on his video and he gives you like always on NCLEX. One of them really was on the NCLEX. It was about magnesium. And I was so happy when I was taking the NCLEX and I saw that and I'm like, Nurse Mike. But yeah, I would definitely recommend him and recommend Nclex-Rn because Nclex-Rn has free quizzes and she has like a whole NCLEX section. So what me and my friend did when we studied, we went through her whole NCLEX section of topics that like popular topics that are on the NCLEX. We watched all the videos and we did all the practice questions. Other thing is have a backup plan. If you're taking the NCLEX and you have absolutely no idea what the answer is on a question, you have to already mentally prepare yourself of what am I going to do when I come across a question that I don't know the answer to. So my backup plan was any, mini, mighty, mo. Like, what am I supposed to do? If I don't know the answer, I don't know the answer. And you don't want to waste your time on the NCLEX sitting on a question that you don't know the answer to. If you don't know it, you don't know it. It's not going to come to your head in 30 minutes. You don't know it. All you could do is pick a question and hit next. Don't stress yourself out over the question, because that can mess up the rest of your ability to function for the rest of the test. So another thing is, make sure that you're following the same routine on the day of the test. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, don't pick the day of the NCLEX to not drink coffee. Like, drink coffee. Like, if that's how your body is used to function like that. If you get up every morning and eat breakfast, make sure you have breakfast. I made sure that I woke up early enough to eat breakfast, to kind of just like relax and tell myself it is what it is. If I pass, I pass. If I don't, I'm gonna pass the next time. But just have that mentality of relaxation. Like, at this point, it's nothing that I can do. I mentally prepared myself for this test, and I'm strong enough for this test, and I'm gonna pass this test. I swear, y'all, like, NCLEX is 50% knowledge, 50% mental. Like, if you are the smartest person in your class, Einstein, and you freak out on that test, it doesn't matter, because you're not gonna pass. Like, you have to mentally be prepared for that test. Like, it's something about that test that just, like, if you don't have the mindset for it, then you're not ready for it. I wanted to also include that you guys should study until you're burnt out. I did not study the last 3 days leading up to my NCLEX because I was so burnt out. Like, when I tell you, I was studying for 3 weeks all day, every day. Like, every second of my time I was studying. I was doing something towards studying. I was reading, watching videos, practice questions on my phone, like, studying. Like, I was just going hard. So that week before the NCLEX, like the last 3 days before the NCLEX, I felt so burnt out I could not study. If you don't feel like that, you're not ready to take the NCLEX. Like, you should definitely feel burnt out, like it's no more information my brain could hold. Like, I felt like if I don't pass this first time, it's no way I'm ever gonna pass, because like, this is all the information my brain can hold. I really felt burnt out. If you're bad at like remembering lab values and like remembering math formulas, don't worry about studying it. Don't waste your time on studying it until, I would say, like 3 days before the NCLEX, or like the week of the NCLEX. So the week of the NCLEX, what I did is wrote out all of the lab values, like all of them, and I wrote them out 10 times each. Like, what I did the week of the NCLEX is I wrote out all of the lab values 10 times each before I started studying it. Well, I only started studying 2 days a week, but before I started, like, I would write them out 10 times. Once you write them out, all of them out 10 times, back to back to back to back to back, boom, you remember it. Like, by the day before my NCLEX, like, somebody could ask me a lab value and I remember off the top of my head. Don't ask me now, because I don't remember, but I remembered it for the test. Also, with the math, like, they're not gonna give you that many math questions. So, and when they do, they give you like really simple math questions. If you could do a basic dosage calculation or drip calculation, then you're good. Like, even if you struggle with that, I struggled with math in nursing school because, like, I would just mess up the formulas. I would put stuff in the wrong, I don't know. My brain is weird. I told you I think I'm dumb. But anyway, I didn't really study. Like, I went over a few basic math, NCLEX style or medication style questions. Like, you could just YouTube it, and I just did that. I think I had like one math question, but like literally it was so easy I didn't even have to write it down. I could do it in my head. What me and my friend did is we had a motivational song that we was gonna play welcome to the NCLEX. I'm not even gonna tell y'all what it is because it sounds so corny now that I think about it, but like, just pick a song that makes you happy, like that puts you in a mood. Like, it was June when I took my test. It was summertime. Like, this test was the only thing separating me from enjoying my summer. Like, I don't know. Our song was a little ratchet. Our song was a little ratchet, but it put us in a good mood. I don't know. I forgot all about the song. Me and my friend was walking to take the test. She starts playing the song. She was really in the mood. Like, it was just, we so corny, but we both passed, so whatever. Like, just, you know, the morning of, you have to feel motivated. You have to feel like, I'm going to pass this test. Just have the mentality, listen, I'm gonna pass. There's nothing that I didn't do to prepare myself to pass this test, and I'm gonna pass this test because I'm a nurse, period. Last thing I'm gonna say is, do not tell nobody when your test date is. Unless you're taking your test with your best friend or your favorite nursing friend or whatever, don't tell nobody when your test date is. Like, I told my family, like, I'm taking my test soon, I'm taking my test this week, and X, Y, and Z. When I got outside of the center, like when I was outside of the testing center, I text like my family in the group chat, my friends in the group chat. I'm like, yo, I'm about to take my NCLEX. Pray for me. If you're spiritual, tell your family, tell everybody you know to pray for you. I was asking my friend's family, my friend was asking my family to pray for her too. Like, it was just, we was like, listen, we got pissed. But yeah, I didn't tell anyone the exact date or time that I was taking my test until right before I walked in and turned my phone off. So I sent that final text like, yo, I'm about to take my test, please pray for me, like I really need this, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. Turn the phone off. If you tell people, oh, today is Saturday, my test is on Tuesday, people will keep stressing you out, calling your phone, ready for the test? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I have the type of mom that be like, did you study today? Did you study this hour? Like, leave me alone. I don't want to hear that. Like, I'm already stressed out. I don't need extra stress to stress me out for this test. Like, I know it's a big test. I know I gotta pass. I don't need nobody else that's not going through the same thing I'm going through to add extra stress and extra pressure on my shoulder. The test is stressful enough, and that test is a lot. So if you have any questions on what else you could do to pass the NCLEX, or you just want to talk about your anxiety, just comment below and I will be more than happy to write your back, because y'all, I was so scared to take this test. Like, I was even scared to look at the results. When the results said pass, I thought I was seeing things. I didn't check my results until about a week after I took the test, y'all. I was too scared. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell.